Hey folks, welcome back to Carl's Place. I'm Carl, and today I think I'm going to make something and kind of ignore my diet for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make French fries, gravy, and cheese, otherwise known as poutine. Stick with me. Okay folks, ready to get into this poutine, one of my favorite indulgences where I always feel like I'm eating something I shouldn't be, but I don't care. So, a little background about poutine. Poutine, the word translates from French to English, and it means cheese fries. One word for two words. Interesting. Now, poutine first appeared in Quebec, in Canada, back in the 1950s. It wasn't there before that, so it's still kind of a fairly new dish, even though it was 73-ish years now. And I have a particular fondness for this because my relatives came from Canada during the Depression in the 1920s. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make authentic poutine. So what you will need, it's pretty simple actually, even to make the original fresh poutine. So of course you want French fries. Now these are my double fry French fries, and I'm not going to show you how I made these. I'm going to put the link at the end of this video to that video. So if you're interested, go ahead and take a look, see how to make your own double fry French fries, which are delicious. I'm going to put these in the oven, keep them warm while I make my gravy. Okay, so the French fries are pretty much out of the way. Now you can use frozen fries. I'm sure your favorite frozen fry will probably be just as good. But original poutine were fresh French fries made right on the spot. And you will also need, of course, brown gravy. And I'm going to show you how to make the brown gravy, so you'll know how to do that nice and fresh. So what you'll need for that is between 1.5 and 2 cups of beef stock. Use whatever beef stock you like. I use unsalted because in addition to the beef stock, what I put in is gravy assistant or gravy master. And what this does, it helps salt and color your gravy, and it does have a lot of salt. So I use the unsalted broth to counteract, and then I'll add more salt after if needed. And for the roux, you'll need 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour. I like the little molds that came out. Fancy. And the last thing you will need are these cheddar cheese curds. Now you can use shredded cheddar cheese if you like. That's yours, but it won't be authentic poutine. Poutine has to have cheese curds. And what these are, it's cheddar cheese in its original form before they melt it again and turn it into blocks and add flavoring and coloring and whatnot to it. This is what comes out of the water once once they go through the process of making the milk curdle, basically what it is, and that's why curdle. And they look like this, and they're really light, really good. And I think the reason you use curds is because once you pour the gravy on, if you use shredded cheddar cheese, if you pour the gravy on, it kind of melts everything right into it, and kind of makes a mash of gravy and cheese together. With the curds, it's going to melt it, but you're going to have pockets of cheese in the fries. So if you want to pick up a glob of cheese with gravy, hello, I'm into it. All right, so let's move over to the stove and get the gravy going. So I have a medium saucepan here, and I'm going to get the butter in there and get that melted on medium high. All right, once the butter is pretty much melted, go ahead and add your 2 tablespoons of flour and start mixing right away, and keep mixing. Make sure it gets all incorporated, and make sure it doesn't burn. And you want to cook this until it smells like roasted peanuts. I'm going to keep my broth handy because once it starts browning, it goes fast. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start adding the broth. Just a little at a time. Get all that roux incorporated, get those lumps out of there, and just keep adding. You have a nice smooth gravy. Bring this up to a boil, continuously stirring, and I'm going to add the rest of that. So I used 2 cups of broth, and hopefully it's going to thicken up enough. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the gravy assist, we'll call it. Put that in there. That's going to darken up the gravy. See that? Isn't that cool? And it really brightens up the flavor. And I'm going to let this come to a boil, and I'm going to taste it in for salt and pepper. Go ahead and give it a taste. Really good. A little salt and a little pepper. Okay. Okay, I think this gravy is done. So let's go ahead and assemble the poutine. Okay, let's assemble the poutine. So first I want to put my French fries on a plate. It's quite a plate. I won't be eating for the next day. Okay, then you want to put your curds on top. I'm going to spread them around nicely. Now let's put them all on there. And then go ahead and just pour your hot gravy right over them. So you can see it. Let's eat.
Ooh la la.
Okay, poutine. Look at this plate. Like I said, I'm not going to eat for the next 2 days. Let's see if I can get it closer so you can see. Look at that. Cheese curds, French fries, and brown gravy. Ooh. And as you can see, the cheese curds some are melty and they're just nice and soft, but you get the whole curd. All right, let's do it. And of course, your French fries aren't going to stay. They're not going to stay crispy completely. You know, little pieces of it will. See that cheese stretching? I'm being transported. I'm doing one of the curds. As you can see, it's nice and soft. And even though it's cheddar cheese, because it's in the curd form, when it's melty, it has a very similar mozzarella cheese feeling to it. Not taste, feeling. It's so good. Munchy food. Oh my God. And there's probably enough here for to share for two, but there's nobody here, so I have no choice but to eat it all. What can I say? I honestly don't know who came up with this, but brilliant. Did you know in Canada they even sell poutine in like their fast food restaurants? The ones we know. It's starting to take hold in the U.S. too because I can get poutine in some restaurants now, but you couldn't years ago. And of course, there's all different kind of variations. Some will put bacon or chili or whatever, and then try to make it a poutine by putting gravy on it or whatever. But those are good. They're delicious, but it's not authentic poutine, as I would say in French. Ooh la la. That was stupid. Hey, folks, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I'm enjoying it. But if you did like it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have subscribed, hit the notification button so you don't miss any future videos from Carl's Place. Ooh la la.